Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Amabad fa'uzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear friends, as you know that this is the fifth episode of our new series in which we are trying to throw some light on different aspects of the life of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmed of Qadiyan. Our current topic is that was Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmed of Qadiyan, the promised Mehdi. And in the current episode, which is the second part of this topic, in which we are going to discuss whether Mehdi will spread Islam by the sword. Now, let's go straight to the topic. Strangely enough, a common misconception prevalent among the Muslims about the Mehdi is that he would spread Islam at the point of sword has not been mentioned at all in these reports. Not only the Muslims, but the non-Muslims as well have come to associate the very name of Mehdi with bloodshed and fighting. The book Iqtarab al-Sah, supposed to be written by the son of Nawab Siddiq Hussain Khan, contains the following words about Mehdi. He will call people towards God with the sword. One who will refuse will be killed. When we look into the hadith, we find only the words Yamlik al-Arab, that is, he will be the ruler of Arabia, and for the spread of equity and justice. The earth has also been mentioned in these reports. The word Yamlik al-Arab, which confines his territory to Arabia, are either an interpolation of the reporter or meant for another person whose kingdom will be limited to Arabia. Apparently, these words seems to apply on Abdullah ibn Zubair, who did not enter into the Bai'at of Yazid. When Yazid died in 64 Hijri, Abdullah ibn Zubair was elected as the Khalifa. The people of Hijaz, Yemen, Iraq also submitted to his rule. Muawiyah ibn Yazid's rule was limited to Egypt and Syria. But after his death, the people of these countries also took Bai'at of Zubair, but soon after they revolted and separated themselves from him. Thus Zubair's kingdom remained confined to Arabia. In 73 after Hijri, during the reign of Abdul al-Malik, Zubair was attacked by Hajar and was martyred by him. Thus his reign was spread over a period of 9 years. Reports concerning Mehdi mention 7 or 9 years of his rule. These words therefore may refer to Abdullah bin Zubair. If it is kept in view that these hadiths have been greatly tampered with, the part mentioning the period of the Mehdi's kingdom for 7 or 9 years can be applied to him as well. The reference Mehdi would propagate Islam with force. This view is supported by the statement in Iqtarab al-Salah, which says that war will be waged at his hand, treasures will be dug out, city after city will be conquered from east to west. It seems that on account of such conjectures, the wrong conception of the warrior Mehdi gradually got its way among Muslims. Some reports might have also been fabricated in this connection, but Siyasatta, 6 authentic collections of hadith and Musnad of Ahmed, which refers to the benevolence of Mehdi, do not mention any report to show that Mehdi will wage war or conquer the whole world or convert unbelievers to Islam at the point of the sword. How was it possible, when the coming of such a Mehdi was decidedly against the clear verdict of the Quran that there is no compulsion in religion? How could indeed such a Mehdi come who would act against this injunction and wield the sword to convert the peoples to Islam? This wrong conception was removed by the Mehdi himself. May God bless Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmed of Qadiyan, who has completely rooted out the false conception of Mehdi separating Islam with the sword, which has opened the eyes of Muslims and has made them realize that the story which was forged by their enemies to stem the progress of Islam was unwittingly accepted by Muslims themselves. Had there been no other argument for his being a Mehdi, this alone was sufficient to prove that Mirza Ghulam Ahmed's claim of being the guided one of the God, that is Mehdi, was correct. The greatest obstacle towards progress of Islam is the worldwide misconception that Islam was propagated at the point of the sword. The enemies of Islam made full use of this weapon to scare the people, even from the name of Islam. As for Muslims themselves, instead of removing this blot from the beautiful face of the Islam, they lent a helping hand to its opponents by their wrong belief in a warrior Mehdi. No doubt there had been other Muslim scholars also who had rejected the report about the advent of Mehdi, or doubted their authenticity, such as Ibn Khaldun Muqaddimah, but it had no general effect on Muslims. There was also a reason for this attitude, because the complete rejection of these reports meant the rejections of the fundamental reality as well, that is coming of Mehdi himself, which was basically true and was a prophecy of the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. It was necessary, therefore, that unless the truth had manifested itself and the promised Mehdi had come, the total rejection of this prophecy should not have any effect on the general body of Muslims. When the real claimant appeared, he sifted out the truth from the falsehood and showed in what way the true part of the prophecy was fulfilled. The rest he showed was added either by the carelessness of the reporters or by willful interpolation. There have been, of course, several other claimants to Mehdihood also, but every one of them was interested in his own person and cared nothing about making Islam free from these false objections. Everyone picked up certain words and expressions from the reports and tried to apply them to himself, but paid no attention to the removal of this false belief that Islam was propagated by the sword. There had been some pious persons from among these claimants as well, and they might have identified their own temporal victory with the victory of Islam, but the extermination of this outlandish concept of a warrior of Mehdi who would wield the sword for the separate of Islam was destined at the hand of the Mirza Ghulam Ahmed, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and thus a great obstacle was removed which stood in the way of the progress of Islam. His claim of being Mehdi showed to the world that the secret and glory of Islam was correlated with such a claim. Not one, but let hundreds of such claimants appear for the glory and success of Islam, and Muslims should welcome them with open arms. To obstruct their cause under suspicions and misunderstandings is to obstruct the cause of Islam. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmed was no doubt a claimant to Mehdihood, but he made his claim a source of onward march of Islam. The prophecy related to Mehdi has been fulfilled today with such a clarity that the fundamental facts behind it has been gradually accepted by all the Muslims. The conceptions that Islam was or will be thrust upon non-Muslims with the sword is losing its hold on their minds. Islam has never stood in the need of violence for its progress, and never shall a time come when such a course will be applied for this propagation. Even non-Muslims have also started realizing that the advancement of Islam was simply due to its spiritual forces and not to the use of any sword. And it is indeed a fact that real success of Islam was brought about not by powerful emperors, but its conquest were mainly due to its dynamic spiritual forces. The following passage by an American scholar confirms this view. The other great religions won their way slowly by painful struggle and finally triumphed with the aid of powerful monarchs converted to the new faith. Christianity had its Constantine, Buddhism its Ashoka, each lending to his chosen cult the mighty forces of secular authority. Not so in Islam, arising in a desert land sparsely inhabited by a nomad race previously undistinguished in human annals. Islam sallied forth on its great adventure with the slenderest human backing and against the heaviest material odds. Lathrop Stoddard, The New Word of Islam, page number 1 is the reference of this para. In short, the real Mehdi of Islam is he who has clarified the real meaning of the Mehdihood and has shown to the world that the Mehdi of Islam is a spiritual Mehdi, and that the Islam's success depends on its intrinsic spiritual values and not on the outward forces. I think it's enough for the day, and tomorrow we will discuss a new topic, that is that La Mahdi illa Isa, there is no Mahdi except Isa. So we will discuss it in detail in tomorrow topic. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe it and press the bell icon button so that you will get the notifications for the new updates. Thank you very much. Wa akhir dawana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalam.